Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Tyler's Tips at 10. Previously, we talked about, last week, we talked about upper body stretches, some of my favorite upper body stretches. So I felt it appropriate today to talk about lower body stretches. Most of these stretches are going to be able to be done from a seated position in a chair. However, you can also do them from a standing position if you so choose to. But today I'm going to show you how to do them from seated. Just like I mentioned with the upper body stretches, this is going to be especially important after exercise, especially with the lower body, just to keep that blood flowing, to avoid the blood pooling in the lower extremities, which is super important for an appropriate cool down, is just to keep that blood moving so that it doesn't pool and the muscles don't get injured eventually. So without further ado, let's get started with some lower body stretches. So I'm going to take a seat on my chair back here. The first one is going to be a fairly simple exercise to stretch the hamstrings or the back of the leg. So what you're going to do is take your leg, you're going to sit pretty far forward in your chair, to the edge of the chair pretty much. Stick your leg straight out in front of you, point your toes to the ceiling, and lean forward toward your toes. And you can exhale as you reach forward. You'll feel a nice big stretch up the back of the leg. So again, if you can reach for your toes, that's fantastic. If you can't quite do that, that's great. Just reach out for those toes. And when you come back, you're going to inhale and nicely roll up nice and slowly. Go ahead and switch sides. So again, all the way forward in the chair. Lean forward, exhale, stretch. And inhale, slowly roll back up. All right, so that one, again, works the back of the leg and the hamstrings. I always stretch my hamstrings out. After an exercise, I tend to cramp up pretty bad in the hamstrings if I don't stretch after exercise. So for some of us it might be more important than others, but for me it's definitely one that I need to do. The next one we're going to do is stretching the front of the legs, or the quads here. So this one we're actually going to stand for, and if you need a chair, that's perfectly fine. If you don't, you have pretty good balance, that's great too. You've probably done this one already. Most people know this one. What you're going to do is hold onto your chair if you need it, pick your leg up, reach back for the ankle instead of the foot. You want to reach and grab a hold of the ankle, and you're just going to pull that ankle slowly kind of up and back, and you'll feel this nice big stretch in the front of the leg here. And exhale as you're stretching. Inhale, slowly release, and switch sides. So again, reach back, pull the leg up, grab a hold of the ankle, pull up and back, and stretch out that quad, exhaling as you get deeper. And inhale to slowly release. All right, we're going to take a seat for the last two stretches here. This one is one of my favorites. It stretches out the hips, the piriformis muscles. It's just a really great exercise to stretch out all the muscles here. So if you have a block of some sort, you may want to use it. But before we get into that, what we're going to do for this exercise is bring our leg up. So we're going to lift our knee and turn and bring our foot up onto the opposite leg. Alright, so it's nicely rested here. Now, the reason I have my crate here is if you're tight in this area and you can't quite get your foot up to your leg, or if you just don't have that range of motion, you can place it on some sort of block or some sort of elevated surface that you have, and then you can get the same type of stretch. Now this isn't ideal, it's very flimsy, it's not tall enough for me, but just for demonstration purposes, you would put your foot the same way, just like you would if it were up here, so flat, with your ankle over your leg. And what you're going to do is just very, very gently apply pressure to your knee over here, the one that's up, away from your body. And you'll feel a nice stretch kind of in the back, in the hips, in the glutes a little bit. If you need to place your other hand on your leg just to keep it there, but just slowly apply that pressure and feel that good stretch. And again, you can do the same with your elevated surface. Just apply that pressure to the outside leg. It's a little more difficult. You want to be able to get that leg as close to parallel to the ground as you can, but for some of us that's going to be quite a bit more difficult. But again, other side, just bring that leg up and gently press out and away from the body. I can feel already that I'm a lot more tight on this side. I can't press out as far, but that doesn't matter for this video. Alright, our last one is going to be a stretch for the inner thighs. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of a wider stance here, again toward the edge of our chair. And you want to keep your back nice and tall, spine is in a neutral position. And we're just going to hinge forward in the hips. Take your hands or your forearms and just gently press out away from each other. So you're pressing out and away. Just slowly exhaling as you press farther and farther out. So what we're doing is opening those hips up nice and wide, stretching out the inner thigh muscles. And again, I'll take my hands and just kind of press out. You want your feet to pretty much stay still if you can, but you may need to angle them more or less depending on your flexibility here. But again, just gently pressing out away from each other, opening those hips up. And again, my back is in a neutral position. It's not rounded, it's nice and straight. I'm sitting tall, just hinged forward in the hips. Those are my 4 favorite main exercises that you can do either seated or standing. Once again, very important to do after some lower body exercises for sure. I don't absolutely recommend it when your muscles are pulled, but if you warm up just a little bit and then stretch, that'll keep you from injuring those muscles and things like that. So thank you for tuning into this video today. I hope you learned something new. Thanks again to everyone that's tuned in the past 2 or so weeks. Again, it's been a lot of fun connecting with all of you, being able to share my knowledge even though it's not in person, and just being able to reach a broader audience. So again, thank you for tuning in. Keep checking out those YouTube videos. Keep tuning in here every morning at 10 a.m. For some new content. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.